No, the list is not out yet. That list will be out till like about probably maybe about 9 or 10 o'clock. Are you missing Rising Phoenix? But just waiting for the one for Arizona Pro. Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Mallory George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, as you know, we have just about, I think, 4 more days till the Rising Phoenix. I should say, see today. You don't count today because it's already here, so you count Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So yeah, about 4 days. So and then the actual day itself is there. So I think time is flying. It's already, we're already just about at the end of this week. Folks, as you know, this is winding down for Olympic qualifications. Where for other divisions such as bikini, I think men's classic, men's open, and also wellness, they have quite a few more shows for qualification, but the shows that really have the fewest qualification shows are really women's bodybuilding, physique, fitness, not so much figure, I would say, and that's about it. I think those 3 divisions have so few shows because they are not as popular divisions. Even though women's physique does have at least, I would say, 3 more shows for qualification compared to women's bodybuilding. And 2 of those shows are overseas. Now, I heard this. I'm not sure if it's true. It's just I heard this in an interview that the Anaheim show is not for this year's Olympic qualification. That it might be for next year's qualification because the deadline for, I think, the qualification for Olympia for this year ends September 15th. The show is September 21st. So, the last 2 shows that will get qualification is the Alina Popa Classic. That's the first week of September. And then that week next after that is the Europa Championship that's now in the UK. It used to be in Spain, but they switched promoters. Now the 2 pros run that show. And those are the only 2 shows left over. That's Olympic qualification for this year. And both those shows are overseas. And this is the thing is, a lot of American competitors won't take the chance to go clear across the ocean just to do a show for Olympic qualification. Generally, that means it's going to be most of any of the European female bodybuilders that are over there. You might get maybe 1 or 2 might try to shot. Like you remember back in last year when Chelsea Dion, she went to the Europa Championship in Spain. She won it. She was the first American to win Olympic qualification at that show. And, one person, Sherry Pirami, just went early this year. She went to Portugal, but took second. Mila Ash been to Romania twice, and she was in the top 5, top 3, but, it is getting harder for a lot of ladies who want to get their Olympic qualification. And we know the Rising Phoenix is a Olympic qualifier, but here's the problem with the Rising Phoenix. As long as you have Andrea, Angela, Alcione, and any other competitors who already got the qualification at that show, you're not going to get it because it says top 3 can get qualification. That means that one person has to be able to beat out almost a list of women who already qualified for the Olympia to get into that top 3 spot. Because it's going to be Angela and Andrea take 1 and 2. That's just how it's going to be. So that other person has to be able to try to get past people like Michaela Aycock, Sherry Priami, Alcione Barreto, Lavia Barros, Julia Wetzel, and at least I think Ashley Jones. So you have to get past at least 3 or 4 already qualified women to get that third spot, because you're not gonna that's it. It's gonna be a really tight fit. And then also, like I said again, women's physique does have a few more shows compared to women's bodybuilding. I'm gonna pull up the list. I'm gonna go here. It's on the NBC News Online, and I'm gonna put up the list and we'll show you how it's give me a second. How if you just had Tupelo Pro, just oh yeah, just want to do this before I forget about this. Tupelo Pro was just yesterday, no, actually Saturday, and I want to give a shout out to the winner, and that is Janetta Johansson. And Janetta, we've been in contact a bit. Maybe someday I might try to get her on my channel. And she did Texas, and then she turns around and she wins the Tupelo Pro. And congratulations to her. I think she has a great physique. I just want to recognize that while we're here. I think she's been to Olympia before. I'm trying to remember if she has. I think she's been by points. I think she did like at least 3 shows. One time she got in by points. And this might be her first Olympia. Here's what a trainer and her coach. And she looked very impressive. It was a week before then she was top 3 at the Texas Pro. And that was a deep lineup, Texas. You had Zama Benta, who we pretty much knew was going to win the show. And you had, who took second? Second was Elisa Kissling, who I thought might try to do Tupelo because, and, third was Janetta. She took $3,000 home. That's pretty good. $3,000, And here's a picture. That's Katie Galat, who did interview week 4 last. She was there. She works at Expediter. She works behind the scenes, and she's a pretty cool lady. She took some pictures of other ladies, but I think she's very happy for herself. She's from Sweden. She's one of I call her the little Swede compared to Irene Anderson. Her and Irene were both together because they were hanging out. Because Irene, she's here because she has to do the Rising Phoenix in a few days. So it would be just easiest to come here and to hang out the States. Here is she is with Irene, her coach, after the Texas Pro. It's a good chunk of change, $3,000, especially for third place. Well, but and they were here attending a GASP seminar, because GASP is one of their sponsors, and that's it's pretty cool. I know my man Sean, he went to one of these things when he was competing, and I think he saw Irene there. And GASP, I think it's ran by a company outside of Sweden, I believe. They're Sweden. I think it's Swedish also. So and that's why both Irene and Janetta are there, because supporting their fellow country person. But she looks impressive. Also, congratulations to all the ladies who competed at the Max Fit Classic. I posted some videos on my IG, my other IG, the IG that I use the most. And you want to check it out, you can go to there, my All the Rage George Page IG, and check out the pics and stuff like that. So looks like I might be riding solo. Usually I have my usual gang. I know KL, he sent me a thing, said he can't make it today, so shout out to him. I sent my thing to Keith, and and we'll cross the fingers he might try to make it, because I know he's got things to do, daddy things. And anyway, we're gonna go back as what competitors need to get the Olympic qualification. And it's gonna be tight, especially going overseas if you got to get shows. I mean, one person I think of who she's done it quite a few times, and she has gone overseas to compete at shows, is Mela Ash. Now, Mela, she's done it at least twice. She did Romania back in 2021. She did Romania and also last year in 2023. And then she's done, in 1 year, she even did the Toronto Super Show. That was the same year because she didn't do too well. She didn't get a qualification at Romania, so she went to Toronto. And that was a year during the pandemic. Mela, I'm a fan of her. She has an amazing body, a great physique, impressive lady. She did a couple of shows. She did both, Chicago, and then she also did, Tampa. And, she looked really good. She cracked the top, three in this show, but the question is, will she do the Olympia show or she do the show in UK? I think the show in UK will be closer. Plus, to give her the more time because it's already. I give her at least another 3 or 4 weeks to get ready. To make the adjustments, and also maybe she wants to fly out a little early. So she get adjusted to the environment. I think UK is better than going over to Romania because that's a good distance. I think who was it? I mean, with Lori when she did the Masters Olympia last year, she says that's a good long flight and it's an expensive flight. So I think a flight to UK is a little cheaper. I think I think the smarter thing to do for Mela to go to the UK. Now another person who I think she might just shut it down after this, and that is Sheena Olick. Now Sheena is going to be doing the Rising, but I don't think she's going to go overseas do another show. She has a great physique. She looks impressive. I mean, she took last year off after 2022, but I don't think she is going to go to Romania or to Great Britain to try to get a Olympic qualification. She's going to compete in the Rising, and I think she's going to shut it down after that. I think I'm a fan of Sheena. She's been on my channel. Get an interview with her. I got to meet her in person at Savannah. She has a great physique, very athletic, aesthetic, pleasing physique. Very feminine. She's really cool, down to earth chick. I think possibility, like I said, she is getting ready for the Rising Phoenix. Here's a picture of her right here from the back. Wow, her back is killer. She works with Trey Hodge, Dr. Team Hodge. That's Trey lives right here, and he lives right here in South Carolina. He's just next door to me, and he's also working with quite a few other competitors. But I think, like I said, I feel like she is going to probably after the Rising, she's going to shut it down and just maybe try to shoot for next year. So I think that'd be a smart thing for her to do. Her physique is just, I think it's a classic physique. Like I would say a little bit more like early women's bodybuilding. Women is big, had that great look, kind of like someone like Linda Murray or Laura Craval or, quite a few. I often say she reminds me of Juanita Blano, beautiful, great physique, I think she has potential. She might try, like I said, if she gets the right show, maybe shut it down for this year, maybe shoot for New York, or probably, I would say New York, or maybe try to do Triple O. Triple O is really early for some competitors. They, that's already in April, unless they push it to May. That'd be good to push it Triple O to May, because but a lot of competitors like to take the time to train. They want to get into a deep prep, especially especially it's so close to the holidays. You just got to think about it. You're just getting off of Christmas, and then you got to try to survive the next 3 or 4 months till that next show. But I think Sheena, I hope she does pick a show, maybe make some changes to come back next year. Now, like I said, there are quite a few ladies. There's one more lady who I'm going to mention who feel like she is getting really close for her. And, this is Raheem's favorite, Raheem, if you're here, you listen, brother, you know who I'm talking about. And that's Natalia Anastasia. Sorry, no, Natalia Kobaleva. and she's also competing at the Rising this week, this coming weekend. She got a, and I was surprised she didn't do New York, but my guess she feel like she needed more time. I know Raheem, this is his favorite girl. You know, he likes some particular thing about her. we, we all know what he likes about Anastasia. I mean, Natalia. You know, hey, as a guy, we can't help it. We're guys. You know, we see a chick with, you know, very well endowments. You can't, you know, take your eyes off them. She's very distracted. You know, she has that face. It's like, you know, but she's number 5 in the Olympia. But as you know, they don't give you qualification to top 5 anymore for women's bodybuilding. I think you still have men's bodybuilding, you know, but most other divisions, he's no longer top 5. And she's going to be at the Rising. You know, the question is she's going to, as I said, I'm not certain if the Anaheim is going to be cut off. If the cutoff for Anaheim is the 15th, because I heard an interview, you know, and I hope somebody can give me some information. That's why I'm hoping my man come on and he might tell me something. But if she tried to do Anaheim, that'd be cutting close. Or, you know, deleting the show. Or probably she might try to go to the UK. But, you know, there's a lot of possibilities. Now, another person who I also follow, I had the pleasure of meeting, and I've done a couple of interviews with her, is Rashana Boswell. And Rashana, you know, she is the first, you know, Miss Olympia Masters champion. She won the title last year. And, you know, she's been competing, you know, consistently since she's been a pro. You know, as you know, she was women's physique, and then she switched to women's bodybuilding. And she's been to the Rising, since where she's gonna be at again. She's like a staple there now. Great lady. I just saw that her 2 babies, Lotus and Lucas, are getting ready for school, preschool. You know, can you believe it? The babies like they're just born now. They're already going to preschool. I like her physique. She has a great physique. Her condition sometimes can be hit or miss, depending. You know, she was the last woman to win the Puerto Rico Pro after that show was discontinued. And you know, she's going to be at the Rising, but as you know, to get your qualification to the Olympia the Rising is going to be tough. I'm going to honestly say it's going to be near impossible. You got to think about it. You have to beat out at least, you know, at least about 2 women who already qualified for the Olympia, and, you know, the rest who already got the Olympic qualification. And that's going to be tough. I mean, you got to think about it. You know, people like, you know, Ashley Young. You can't forget, Lavinia Barros, Judah Wetzel, you know, and Angela and Michaela Aycock, and, you know, no one's going to be Andrea. That's the honest truth of that. We got here my man, Balls Deep. He says Rashada Boswell's fire. I know you're a fan. He also says Schmo gang, 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 gang. Also, he says, what up and salute. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Also, Chicago in here, you know, welcome. And he says, smash that like button. Okay, you know, thank you. Thanks for support. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a numbers game, folks. With so few shows and so opportunities to qualify for the Olympia. Now, as you know, the point systems is gone. So, you know, I've seen competitors do multiple shows, but what's the point of doing multiple shows where, you know, there's no point system anymore? You know, that was incentive for a lot of competitors. If I do 2 or 3 shows, especially the top tier shows like, you know, the New York Pro or Tampa or Chicago, you know, now, I'm not going to mention Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic because forget Arnold, or Toronto. I have enough points. Like, think about it. Sheena probably, if it was still a point system, Sheena did Toronto, she did Atlanta, and she did Tampa. she would already have enough points probably to be qualified for the Olympia. And the same thing for a couple other competitors. Uh, they probably could have got the qualification, but it's getting close. Now, if you check my channel and look at my, I got an interview coming up, and that's with Ramona Scotzi. If I got a Scottson, if I got anything wrong, Ramona, she qualified for the Olympia back in 2023 when she did the Imperial in Spain. Now she made a pro debut at the Toronto Super Show, but she didn't get a qualification till she won the Imperial. And the press lady, press physique, is she I think she has great potential. Uh, she was top four. She was top five in the last two shows she did. Was both Atlanta and Chicago. And the question is, we're having on tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow morning at 10. 10, I know 10 in the morning for me, 9 for some places, 8 for others, and 7 for some way out in the West. So I know some of you guys, you're not gonna be up that early because you gotta remember she lives in the UK. She's on a different time zone. She's reached about 6 hours ahead of me. So six, 6 to 10, 6 to 10, so that, like 5 hours ahead of me. So we had to try to fit within our time zone. So 10 o'clock in the morning for me, it's gonna be 3 o'clock in the afternoon for her. But if you guys want to come by, and if you really want to come by, hey guys, get up early. Wake up before you get to work, before you jump in the shower. Wake up at 6 o'clock, jump in the shower, and sit before you hit out the door and watch the live stream. We're gonna have some fun. She's a pretty cool lady, but she has breast physique. I think she has potential. There's some say that she might have potential for women's bodybuilding. I heard this from the Female Bottoming channel. They always, when they see certain women, they take critique of them and say, hey, maybe she might need to move over. She kind of, like I said, one thing I think I would compare her to would be to Ocean. I think I could, that's the one person I think I could really compare to Ocean Barreto. The back, the definition, her, she has that potential. The waist is not as tapered. That's the thing. They want the girls to be more tapered than waist, but she has potential for maybe switching over. Here we go. We got somebody's popped in. We got a guest. My man, Art of Muscle.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you going? How you going, brother?
Oh, not too well.
Uh,
Life's getting really, really tough right now. It's getting really expensive. So, dealing as best we can. And because of that, that was something that I was going to tell you and everybody. I decided to shut down my page. So,
oh
so,
man,
it's getting to the point where it's just I'm getting so tired with everything that I'm having to do right now that I'm having to just put that to the side. So I went
man.
ahead and got that shut down. So
That's
yeah,
I mean, I feel bad for you, man. I know it's tough. I
yeah.
mean, try to maintain a job and try to, especially dealing with health issues. I can tell you, I can feel you. I really, really root for you. But like I said, you're always welcome here every time you want to come. Cause
That's okay. I've got a different profile that I explain in more detail why I decided to get rid of the page, and that's JJR 1972. So that's my new profile. So I'll explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. But yeah, decided to swing by, say hello, and pop in. And looks like I guess we're alone, we get just the two of us today. So
well, yeah, because like I said, usually I think Keith, he got some stuff. I know I sent him a thing. Usually he'll pop in maybe a little later or depending. KL, he already told me that he has to work, and I reach out to some other people, but sometimes people come. You got to work with their schedule, and sometimes I got my schedule. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a job. I'm mostly home. And I said, what, I've done solos before. Sometimes it's a lot of fun when you have somebody can bounce stuff off of. 1 year together. But sometimes, solo can, I can do all right solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what's your thoughts? As you know, the season for, especially I think for both women's bodybuilding and physique, is getting very slim. I think they might be having maybe you have. I think I heard, and this is from an interview I saw. It was with I'm gonna say it's Sherry Priami. She had an interview with Glenn over at Amazon Fitness, and she mentioned he mentioned about the Anaheim show. She said, "Well, that's probably going to be for next year's Olympia because it's." I think she said that the qualification ends the 15th that September because that shows the 21st. Like I said, I'm not certain, but I think I'll take Sherry's word for it.
hmm. Let's see here. I'm just taking a quick look.
Yeah. Take a look. So I was going to put up the list that of the on here. I'm on the list of the shows that are left because especially for women's bodybuilding, I'm gonna pull it up in a minute. See, we here. Let's go here. Copy, and I'm gonna post it now. See, and here we go. I'm gonna pull it up in a sec. Now, here is the that's the it says open women's body. Say here is the list here, and we're gonna go to women's bodybuilding, and the list. Now we already had the Triple O Dynasty, the Vancouver Showdown, New York, Toronto, Imperial, the Portugal Pro, Linda, Chicago, Tampa. Now the Rise of Phoenix, as I said again, even though it is considered a Olympia qualification show, here's the truth of it. As long as you have the top 3 competitors there and most everybody who's already qualified, it's no point. It is no point to be called an Olympic qualification show if you have generally most people who are qualified for the Olympia. Now you have the Masters or World Championships, which is not Olympic qualification show. Which this is the bit where I talk about this. I feel that Masters shows could be or can be Olympic qualification shows. There's only they're just the max fit this past Saturday. What all you have to do is, just like I say, if these masters competitors have to pay like amateurs to compete, pay a entry fee to compete at these master shows, then do like you do with amateurs. Have an overall to see who gets the Olympic qualification. That to me that makes some sense. I don't know if they would do it or not. You got to get past it between Tyler Mannion and Jim Mannion about it, but I doubt they will. Now you have the show for Alina. That's Alina Papa Classic. That's the first. And then you had the 14th, 15th Europa Championship. And it said that the qualification ends that 15th. So that's cutting it close for some competitors. And then you have the Titans Grand Prix. That's 21st. And then you have to start all over again. And if these two here, the Titan and the Romania, possibly for next year.
Well, according to the rules that I'm looking up right now, it says that the qualification period ends on September 15th.
Yeah.
So the only ones that are left will be the Masters, the Alina, and the Europa. And then everything after that will be for Olympia next year.
Yeah. Well, technically, the Master Championships, that's not Olympic qualification. That's a Gary Udich show. That's just
right.
Master competitors.
So there's really only 2 options right now, or 2 more spots left open.
Yeah.
For the Alina and the Europa. So
yeah. So you have to fly overseas to do those shows.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of competitors would want to do that, especially American competitors. I just mentioned how, possibly maybe Ash might try to do it. I think maybe it would be smart for her just instead of go all the way to Romania, do the show in the UK. That's a little closer. I think Lloyd told me that's at least about from the UK from
it's about 6 hours.
6 hours. And I think the UK is like 4 or 5.
No, it's about UK is about 6 hours. Romania is going to be longer than that because I've actually flown back and forth from London before, and it was about 6 hours.
Yeah. So yeah.
So Romania is going to be even longer if it's a nonstop flight.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So it'd be smarter to take the UK show and then other competitors just jump on who are in the area. Like one example is Julia Furry. She could do it because she lives in Switzerland. I think Jay Fuchs might be doing it. Irene Anderson, she can go back to Sweden. That'd be smart for her to do that show. There's one lady I've mentioned her. She just turns women's bodybuilding. That's Alinda Oprah. She switched over, and there's also the two. There's Anastasia. Anastasia even though does not do any shows because she don't need to do anything. She says she's going to do the Europa show, but you already qualified, and you can't get a visa to come here to compete. That's the best part of it. If she does that show and wins, she'll take a spot. That cut the number down to probably to 13 women, where it should be at least 15, 16.
Well, I'm trying to remember who was the male competitor that had these visa problems, but then after he was able to get his birth, I want to see. I'm trying to remember who it is, but I thought he had visa problems as well, and then they were unable to arrange something for him to be able to come. So maybe something like that will come up last minute. That's pretty last minute, but we'll see.
Well, if she has a good lawyer, but with the United States, it's that hard. It's anything. It's hard to get into America, especially from another country. It's easy to get to another country, if you have any kind of issue, especially trying to get a visa, but it's a lot harder getting in America. I think we're probably the toughest country to get into. Now, as we've seen, this is the list from the women's physique for qualification. Tupelo, that's already in the books. Arizona Pro, then the UK Pro, and that's that. That's it. That's, I think, it's the same amount of show qualifications for women's physique as the same amount for women's bodybuilding. But here's the thing is, with women's physique, they have more qualifications after the Olympia. One you have here, the Legion Sports, that's for qualification for next year. Daytona. There's also the Clash, Romania, Natural, Atlantic Coast, and also they're doing a show in Brazil. So that's at least about 5 or 6 qualifications for next year. And that's crazy. I mean, and you got to cross your finger and hope that Natalia Quayle don't jump on any of the shows.
Well, I think Natalia is involved with that last one there.
Yeah,
With November 30th, because they were saying that this was like, they're saying finally there is now a women's physique qualifier down in Brazil that she I guess is involved with. So
yeah, and like I said, I was talking earlier about a young lady who got interview coming later. That's Ramona Shosky, and she qualified last year at Imperial in Spain. She did Chicago and she did Atlanta, but didn't get a qualification. She was top 5 in both those shows. One lady I just talked to, she says that she's not doing these. She did Tupelo, but she's not doing Arizona. She's going to do another show. And then also you still have, I think, possibility of it wins physique. Paula Ranta, who just did, I think she did her 5th show as she did Tupelo. She might try to, she's young. She's 25 years old. I don't. When you're 25, you can run all day. You remember when you were 25, you can run all day and run all night. But doing this is kind of tough. I mean, I think she might need to shut it down because it's a lot of money you're spending. She did 2 shows overseas, the Portugal and the Imperial. She took 2nd Imperial, but pretty much was next to that last at Portugal. Then she cracked the top 3 at both Tampa, Texas, and Tupelo, the 3 T's. I think she had top 3 that show. And I think if she's trying to squeeze, one more show, I don't know. She might need to really think about just taking the time off. Like I said, she's still young.
Yeah, it's all up to her. I mean, if she feels that she can keep going, there's no real sense for her to stop. So if she's wanting to get that qualification, so
Yeah. Well, I think she just switched over from figure to physique this year. She has an impressive physique. I think one thing I think the thing is often is going to be always the size. That's the main thing. They keep saying you need more size, but the thing in with women's physique, you're supposed to get away from the size. We get too most close to women's bodybuilding.
yeah, it's just unfortunately the powers that be versus the judges. It's like it's been like this now for decades. Is that the judges are coming out with directives saying, "Hey, we want to see less mass. We want to see, let's see less size." And then when these same women go up to the actual judges of the show, what do they tell them? Bigger, 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 and it's always bigger. It's never smaller. So,
Yeah,
so it's like the
yeah,
left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. So,
yeah. It doesn't make sense. It's just politics, and I always say money talks, bullshit walks. You know, and like I said, she just did Tupelo, and not a lot of pictures from that show because it's a brand new show. I was able to find uh it was a little it's a video from the let me see, I can find it, I can pull it up, I pull it up, I posted it on my IG, my other IG, my all the way George Page IG. This is my George Page 45 IG, and it's a little, I put some music to it because I want to be a little more entertaining. You see, there's a Santana Francisco. That was her big debut. Santana, I know her. She interviewed me a while back. There's Modesta Habib. There's Alina Alvarez, Shea Queen, Paula, Janetta, Mika Filankova, Alisa Copolino, who I also interviewed, and also Tamika Cash. And these are some pretty amazing women. One lady I'm gonna pull out about is Alina Alvarez. Now she has good aesthetics. So I think let's talk about maybe her switching over to women's bodybuilding. Think she'll do well in that division?
I don't think so. I think she's exactly where she needs to be because she's been getting her placings. I mean, the last couple of shows she's been in, if I'm not mistaken, top five in the last two shows.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, and Tupelo. So I mean, if you're in one of the top five spots, you're exactly where you need to be. It's just something that I noticed that she was actually talking about in her story. She was talking about how she doesn't understand when it comes to her legs, especially about her development. But I mean, unfortunately, that's apparently the direction that you'll be going with these last two shows because she and Paula Ranta over at Tampa, they got moved to the third. They got moved to the outside, and then what is it? Jeanette and
Jenny.
the other girl, they got moved in. So at that show, they weren't looking for conditioning because Paula and Elena were both far and away more conditioned than the two girls that are in the middle. And the same thing at Tupelo, from what I can see of the shows, is that Elena comes in with incredible conditioning. She comes in absolutely ripped, but apparently the last couple of shows they have not been looking for that. They've been concentrating more on mass rather than definition. So
Mm-hmm.
is that a change that they're going to be looking to do from now on? We'll wait and see. But
Yeah, like
that's just what I observed in the last couple of shows.
yeah, because there was a live stream for that show. I think they posted it. Some people were posting it. I didn't watch it because, like I said, I've saved my money for the Rising Phoenix. Plus, I'm hoping my car get done by this week. I want to get my car so bad, man. I need to
Yeah,
get away.
you've given me bad juju because I have car trouble now.
That's the thing
So
is, I
so
remember this is something. This happened. My brother died. My mother got his old truck, And this is something somebody told me. He said, never get a car or any kind of automobile with somebody who died. And my mom had to get some work done on that truck and stuff like this and that. And it's my sister gave me that truck. She never died, but she gave me that car because she got a new truck and she said, hey, I know you can't get around much like you used to, so he can have this car. But it was getting me around here too, fro, because I live out the country. I can't do a lot of walking. I got bad news like Stone Cold Steve Austin. But yeah, I didn't mean to curse you, man, but that's how it is. This is from Stephen Price. Does the Tupelo Pro have a pro qualifier? No, it was a regional show. They have a regional. It was a NPC. It was an NPC show, but it was regional. It's not a pro qualifier. But the Tupelo was it was both a Masters and an Open show. It didn't have Masters for women's physique, but had Masters for all the other divisions. So and like I said, back to the subject, like who do you feel needs to jump on the show, get the qualification?
Well, it all depends on who's going to be showing up. Are you talking about now? Are you referring to bodybuilding or physique?
Both of them, either one of them.
Well, it all depends on who shows up on contest day. So, I mean, from what I'm seeing, it's like depending on who it is, sometimes women are guarded as to which show they're actually going to go, and that's strategic because they want it to be a surprise for them to show up. So it all comes down to who's going to be in the lineup for these last couple of shows for both bodybuilding and physique, and they haven't released them yet. We've got the Rising Phoenix coming up, but other than that, it's like we're waiting on the other one. We're waiting on the Legion. No, wait, I don't think it's the Legion. That's
Legion,
later on.
yes, that's for next year.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, like I said, both of them have the same amount of shows. It's the only two choices they do have is, well, for women's physique, it's Arizona and it's the UK. Women's bodybuilding, it's the Alina and it's the UK show. And I know Lika Folikova, she might try to push because I think she's done the Arizona before. She's done Legion. I've been in contact with a couple other women who said they might try to do a show for next year's qualification. And let's see. There's I think I saw that David, he's supposed to be interviewing Pamela Canfield, who did Texas. So the question is, she's been Olympic qualified before because she won St. Louis last year. So would she do Arizona? Which is, I know she's not going to go fly out of the country. She might try to do Arizona, or they can just wait and try to get a qualification next year, like do Daytona or do Legions.
It all is a question of money.
Yeah,
it's all a question of is can she physically do it? Because even one of these preps is hard, both physically and financially. So it's just a question of whether or not she's got the physical and financial stamina to keep going.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, it's always always issue. Money's a big factor, especially for these competitors. Most of these ladies don't have deep pockets. So some of them don't even have promoters, sponsors.
Ironically enough, who's in the same category?
Who?
Olympic athletes.
Yeah.
They've done this now a couple of years now. It's like you got people trying to get in the Olympia team, or people who are Olympians who have actually gone to the Olympic Games. It's like they said, we're doing OnlyFans and donating blood in order to be able to afford doing this.
Yeah, I saw this.
Because only people like Simone Biles, or only some of these some of these well-known Olympians, they actually get money. They have like deals with multi-million-dollar deals, but most of the rest of them, it's like they have nothing. They don't have any sponsorships. They don't have these big things. So it's ironic that to go represent your country at the Olympic Games tends to be exactly the same situation as something like bodybuilding.
Yeah, and other countries, they will pay for their competitors, their
Right.
Olympians like Russia, China. They were paid. They have. That's why they have. They don't have to need money from donations. I saw. As you talk about the OnlyFans, this is I think it's a Canadian pole voter who went to Olympia. She has an OnlyFans page. Tracking lady. It's not nothing too risque, but that's the sad thing because this country should finance your athletes.
Right.
You want to represent the country. Go to go here because you don't be like that lady from Australia. Oh my God. Oh, that is crazy. I mean, that was also they was talking
Yeah.
that her husband really set the thing up for her. I mean, it's just I've done a couple of interviews with some Australian competitors, and they just George, man, this is so embarrassment for our country. I just
Well, yeah, and that's the sad part. Is like you say, other countries they have subsidies. I mean, the bodybuilders can qualify for subsidies because the government considers it representing their country at an international event, and for many of these other countries, bodybuilding qualifies.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's not the case here in America.
Yeah.
And the ironic part, it's not just bodybuilding; it's for quite a number of things, and especially for the Olympics. So I just find that really sad. And unfortunately, in our nation, we don't do the same thing that other nations do with their competitors.
Yeah, because put the money towards something else that is not, conducive to better somebody's life or society. This is the biggest platform around the Olympics, and I know trying to hold down one thing is like I do content, especially on mixed martial artists. Some of those guys they don't get paid as much as That's why boxing laughs at the NBA fighters because think about it. Right now, you got that coming up in a couple of months. You got Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That is going to be a big. People talking Jake say, "Oh, Mike Tyson's old." This is Mike Tyson. He might be
Right.
old, but his feet's not cold. Jake fought mostly a bunch of jobbies, guys who are fighters but not real boxers. Only person that really beat him was that Tyson Fury's brother because he's a boxer. He trained with his brother. He knows how to fight. But
Right, and it's not. I mean, all hats off to Paul as to how he's metamorphosized into this fighter. It's like you say. It's like, yeah, it's Paul, but at the same time, this is Tyson. This is a trained, seasoned fighter who this is what he has done all of his life.
yeah,
So he's got far and away more ring experience. So I mean, it's all for me. It's all just this really expensive exhibition, but we'll see
yeah.
how
I
it
watched.
goes.
I saw old video. I saw old interview he did a while back. Where he talked about how he said like this thing. One little fight, my dick got hard. You say what? So do you? The guy says, "Do you come, Mike?" No, I just get hard because it's like the violence. I just get hard when I get in the ring. I say, shit. If a man said that, I mean, fuck, I'm done. I'm just hey ref, I'm just like this. I'm just gonna just hit me in the jaw and let me just lay on. I'm not giving up. I'm not trying. Call me. Yeah, I took a dive, but hey, I don't want to go. I got to think about it. I got to fight. 3 minutes with this man for maybe 10 rounds. Just hit me square the jaw. I'm out. I collect my check in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah. But like I said, this is where, again, the issue of always going to be debate about money and how, like uh, Janetta, who won the Tupelo, she got $2,000. That's first place. It's a practically it's not a big show per se, but still, if you look at what Cyril Vickers did for Texas, Janetta walked away with $3,000 for taking third place. That's like she got more. She was just two people away from $15,000, and it's just the space of it all. I know she sponsored her and Irene. They're gas sponsored athletes, I believe. Because gas is apparel and they do a lot of stuff. I know a guy who was working with gas. He was also sponsored gas athlete. That's my man Sean. They went to they have every so often have a little get together in Texas. I think it's one by a Swedish company, but and they have their foot in Texas. So, because I think one person he mentions is Branch Warren. I think he's one of the guys that works with gas also. But with like I said, this is again, if there was, like I said, you remember Weekend Strength had the ambassador program, and that did help a bit. It's I think one was problem was a certain person whose name I did not speak. She complained about stuff, but hey, you got to think about it. No one's offering you, this much amount of money. All you got to do is come to the, if you get hired to do work a booth, you just got to be there, take pictures, fold shirts, and just that's about it. You get
Right,
paid.
but for most people, from what I found out, you're only paid like maximum like 500 for the weekend, depending on who you are,
Hmm.
to work one of those booths. So it's like, and then they wonder why women turn to stuff like sessions and such like that. So it's like, I mean, because I know people that I talk to. I think I mentioned this earlier. It's like I asked a while ago, a long time ago at the Arnold. I said, hey, why don't you work a booth instead of doing sessions? Said, well, here's the reason why. Is that most of these girls are making like $500. Just the other day, I cleared $4,000
Hmm.
in cash. So you understand why women are turn to that sort of thing. So, and it's unfortunate that we have a system by which they feel they need to do that. And the reality is not that they feel they need to do that. They do need to do that if they want to be able to do this financially. Not everybody, obviously, but I mean, depending on who you are, depending on your financial situation, maybe that's what they're going to have to do.
Hmm. Yeah.
Unless things improve on the financial front.
Where it's like more lucrative opportunities, better sponsorship. If bodybuilding paid these competitors to compete, that could help because that gives an incentive to do shows if they're getting paid for it. Even though you win prize money, hey, give you like a little per diem for coming to the show. Like this is one thing I do. As I say again, I do. I mean, for one thing, when you go to a weigh-in, you get paid for you just to be appearance for your weigh-in. That's both in boxing and MMA. You just the fight money is just the money you make from just for your fighting, but you do get get paid just to appear for a weigh-in. That's could be considered. Also, you think about it. Okay, come to the show, get checked in, compete. Let's say each competitor gets like $500 check per show, and depending where you place, you can get an extra, $1,000. You know that could really help a lot of competitors.
I don't honestly don't see them doing that though. I mean, I
I
think that would be a great idea. It's just unfortunately,
we know. I know.
yeah,
It's me being polyamorous.
right,
And
right.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to head out, so I just wanted to pop in real quick and just say, hey, say, hey, I wish you all the best. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to come back on this or not, but I think it's a great thing that you're doing. My new profile is over on Instagram is JJR1972, and as I said, I've scaled back a lot. Um, and just wanted to also just shoot the shit with you as to what's going on there, and just wish you all the best with this. I mean, it's growing. So, oh, there he is. Just as I'm
Yeah, it
popping out,
is.
another one's popping in.
Yeah,
So,
he just came in to see the crime.
Hey, I was getting a massage. Sorry, I had to get one more
Oh, you're getting a massage. Who
oh,
was she?
trainer shit for me. I get work. Holy shit! I can't
okay.
believe can't believe I paid somebody to do that shit to me.
Hey, if you want to, you pay me. I studied kinesiology. I didn't get my degree, but I can do massages.
Yeah, it's terrible. Isaac is awesome though. He's great.
Well,
Okay.
no, he'll be
I'll
back in a bit.
Okay,
But
I'll be heading out. So
yeah, thank
good
you
to
for
talk with you, man. Okay.
good to see you, Jeremy, and and all the best to what you do in your future,
So,
man.
thank
All
you.
right. You're
You
welcome.
too, man. You too.
All righty. Well, as our man, Art of Muscle, as you know, he is going a new direction with his channel and his content. It's sad to hear this when you lose somebody who really support women's bodybuilding because it's like I said, it's tough. And with life and financial issues, it's just one of those things. my man Keith, wherever he's at, he's he's right now, he Hamzat picks up. He has that Obama Wi-Fi. We'll give him a second. But this is why it's like this. This sponsorship helps, especially for a lot of these competitors. Sponsorship does help. It helps cover the cost of travel, cover the cost of coaching, all that stuff. If you get the right people who can put the money behind you. So, brother, you're here, and thank you for coming. I know you're a busy man, getting massages. Oh, honey, right there. What happy Indian GI?
Hey, dog, 6 weeks out, got to grind, man. Coach is happy, I'm happy. So, just doing the damn thing now. As I tell people, 10 toes down, 6 feet up.
Yeah, stay above the ground. So anyway, as we were saying, the qualification for the Olympia is limited down to 2. This is confirmation that the Anaheim show is going to be qualification for next year's Olympia.
What? That doesn't. That's crazy because, okay, so last year the Legion show, and I don't know what day it was last year, but Charles Griffith and everybody who won the Legion show was qualified for the Olympia for this year. So I don't know if they changed it. They must have, because that show was after. So that's a week after. So like Charles Griffin, for prime example, won the Legion show and qualified for the Olympia last year. So unless they changed the rule, I don't know. I mean, so we were talking about this because was supposed to disclose certain things about Tina's prep. That may mean that a lot of girls may not do this show because they're trying to qualify for the Olympia this year. So if you're trying to, it's not going to help them none whatsoever. Especially if you're trying to qualify for the Olympia this year because it's for next year. So I don't imagine a lot of girls, maybe I'm being presumptuous, but I don't know if a lot of girls are going to do this show now because it's for next year and it's not for this year. So I don't know. It should be interesting, but I don't understand why they would do that, seeing that the number of shows are so limited, that they wouldn't just, make it this year. So that's just dumb. But also, when you go to their website too, they have like men's masters and all this men's shit when it should be women's because there's no men's in this show, but they got all these men. When I went and looked at it, it's like men's master bodybuilding, over blah, 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 this, that, and other, and it should say women. So I contacted promoter. Well, Tina contacted promoter, goes, why it says men? It should say women. They're like, oh shit, they didn't know. So I'm like, Jesus.
That's like because I know that's like a mess because it's supposed to be women's bodybuilding and fitness because they're the 2 divisions with the far less shows next to physique. And I also saw that physique has the least. They have the same amount for physique. They only have Arizona Pro this weekend and the show in the UK, but they have at least 5 qualification shows after the Arizona after
That's silly.
Yeah, because they have the Legion, they have the Daytona, there's the Legion Daytona. I posted, I showed you a while. Let me go back. I know I had it a while ago. Let's see. I posted earlier. So okay, now Arizona will be the last qualification for this year.
So world
And
next week.
yeah. And then after that's next week. And then they have no. Oh, in America, Arizona's the last qualification for this year. The UK is the last qualification overall for women's physique. Both women's physique and bodybuilding, they share that show. Then you have
when is Elena show then?
that's women's bodybuilding, but physique they just have 2, just like women's bodybuilding do. Yeah, because like physique, women's physique has Arizona and UK show. Women's bodybuilding has the Lena show and the UK show. Yeah, and then after that, after UK show, you have the Legion Sports. That's for next year. Daytona for next year. Then it's showed Clash, the Romanian Muscle Fest, the Big Wheel Natural, Atlantic Coast Pro, and there's a show in Brazil. That's at least 6 shows for women's physique. Yeah, and then it's with women's bodybuilding. The only thing you have is the Anaheim show and the Arena Muscle Fest for next year. That's 2.
Wow.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. So like, I guess my whole thing is, I think a lot of girls were assuming that this Anaheim show would probably be their last chance in the States, but clearly it's not. So I wonder how many girls actually do the show now.
Well, I would say if they want to do it just so they can get early qualification for next year, where they don't have to worry about doing any shows, that would be the whoever's going to jump on it. We talked.
I mean, because Maya still hasn't qualified. Henderson still hasn't qualified. Boss. I mean, and let's just be honest. I mean, it's silly the way they do it, because here's the problem. Here's what I would do if it was me, and it's just a logical thinker. So you got Andrea, you got Angela, you got Ashley, who are all qualified for the Olympia. As a default, I mean, I understand that those girls are probably going to be the top 3 girls at the Worlds, right? Let's be honest. That's what I'm assuming. It'll be probably Andrea, Ashley, which some people are predicting Ashley to beat Andrea, and I'm like, really? And then you got Angela, and I don't know, 4th and 5th are up in the air, but what's probably 4th and 5th are girls who've already qualified as well, or won shows that are going to Worlds. But if they didn't, and they were 4th or 5th, let's say at Worlds, why wouldn't you just give that spot to them? That's like giving a girl 2 pro cards at a pro qualifier. Makes no sense. You know what I mean? It makes no sense whatsoever. So by default, it's like, oh, what are you gonna do with 2 pro cards? It's like, oh, I won the Masters and I won the Open, or I won the 35 and I won the 45 class. Why wouldn't you just give it to the girl in 2nd place, and then it's like nationals, what they do in nationals now. 1st and 2nd place get pro cards. Wasn't during my time, because I'd have been a fucking pro a long time ago. Because I remember Dave Palumbo asking me, he's like, what do you think about the new rule of them giving 2 pro cards? I go, when you're a 3-time runner-up at USA's and nationals, excuse my language, how the fuck do you think I feel? Because I would have been a pro already. I said, but now that rule applies. So why wouldn't you do it the same as, open pro bodybuilding? You know what I'm saying? All these girls is qualified. You're trying to get more girls in the show. You won't get more girls in the show, because so now you're looking at same number that you did last year, right, for women's bodybuilding. Especially if you got to run through Andrea, Ashley, and let's say Micaiah. You got to run through all those girls to get a qualification, which probably ain't going to happen. So, and all those girls already qualified for the Olympia. Why wouldn't you just give it to the girl, like, say, for instance, a 5th place girl or 4th place girl that didn't qualify? Why wouldn't you just give it to her, seeing that all those other girls in front of her are already qualified, right? Doesn't that make logical sense?
That makes sense.
That's just me.
Well, I understand that, but the fact is, they make the rules. They know that it'd be easier. Why? Like, one example is we have Anastasia Livanova, who can't even get a visa to compete in a show. I think she said she's going to do a show in the UK. If you can't compete after winning your last show, what's the point of taking that time coming to another show?
Because who was a girl who won? She came in 2nd. What was her name? The mom.
Sherry Priami. She's also be at the Rising.
Yeah, so Sherry placed 2nd to her there in Portugal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, it's just effing up, spots for girls, because Sherry would have qualified already. So by default, I would say, why didn't you, by default, Sherry should have got that qualification, because now you got a girl who can't get over here. Because, again, I just filled out my pro card last night, right? And so it says, do I have a passport, this, that, and other. And I'm sure they got to do over there. I think the problem is that the IFBB doesn't do their due diligence as far as, like, oh, do you have a visa? I mean, because last year, and this is the way the Europeans work, it's the way the Canadians work. If you have a felony or something on your record, you can't get into this country. Like if you go to Canada, if you're a felon, you can't get into Canada. Like prime example, like the guy Charles Griffin that I just talked about, who won the Legions, who qualified for the Olympia last year. He went to Canada to Toronto like a few years ago and got to the border and they sent his ass back home because he had DUI. Not trying to put his business out there, but that's why he couldn't get into Canada. So I'm sure, like Nathan D. Asher, who qualified for Olympia last year but couldn't get here because of his visa, because he was having issues at his gym, with, his gym was stung, a steroid raid or whatever case it be, and I don't know the whole logistics of it. But part of that has to do with, the United States and the country he's in saying you can't come to this country. So there has to be something on that girl what's not allowing her to come over to this country. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tara, I remember talking to my coach about Tara, Tara Seltzer when she was competing, she ran into some trouble here and then she had to go back to Canada. She had to get it expunged off her record in order to come back to the United States to compete. It's just crazy. So again, what I'm saying is you're giving girls spots that can't get here. So again, the numbers are going to be, let's say the numbers, what was it last year? 11 girls, 12 girls in
10.
Olympia? 10. So you're going to be at the same number this year.
Well, actually, going to be a little more because, like I said, unless Christina dropped out like she did last time, it's going to be at least 12 or 13, just about, because you already have, both. You have, see the top four, you have Andrea, you have Angela, you have Alcyone, and you have Hella, who's already,
Oh, that's right. I kept
yeah,
forgetting about
Hella,
them. You're right. Yeah,
and then you have Lavinia Barros, you have Teresa Ivasic, you have Julia Wetzel, Ashley
Micaiah,
Jones,
Michaela.
Micaiah, Sherry, Nadia, and you have who else? That's it. You have at least already 12 women. Now it would have been 13 if what's the face didn't have a visa.
But here's the thing. Let's be realistic though. I mean, if you look at how many guys are in open bodybuilding, and how many guys are competing in the show, and some guys like Nathan last year couldn't get over here, or whatever case it would be. It's like, should those numbers be higher? Yes, they should be higher. But again, the problem is the not enough shows. The point thing is out. So, and how many girls? I mean, let's think about it. How many girls actually compete? And then, so you looking at like Maya, maybe out. Boswell hasn't qualified. Maya hasn't qualified. Who else hasn't
Sheena,
qualified? That's something. Sheena,
Natalia,
Hunter. There's a lot of Sheena. There's a lot of talent. I think Tina whole goal is for next year, but again, it's one of those things where, I guess I could throw her in there too. There's so many girls who are trying to qualify that won't make it because of the limited amount of shows, and then everything's after the Olympia. So it's just crazy, and that's a lot of good talent. It's not like these girls are scrubs. It's a lot of good talent out there. All those girls we just mentioned are Olympia, have been to the Olympia and have qualified for Olympia before, but because of the shows that they don't have anymore and the point system, they're all going to be, and looking outside looking in, right? And that's just too bad. I mean, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And and all those girls we mentioned are pretty girls too. Who the femininity of it all should have opportunity to compete in Olympia, but that's just our opinion, George.
Yes, this is what man Stephen Prey says. He says, I don't understand. Jake can't make the Anaheim for this year. I don't see what difference does it make. Well, he's not really. He's one of the sponsors, but he's not the promoter. And if he could have they could have had squeezed the Anaheim round this month because you don't have, other than Tampa, there's no other shows for women's bodybuilding for this month. They could have had Anaheim for this month, maybe this week. It would have been good to have it this week because you had the Rise of Phoenix. They could have had it the week before or the week after the Rise of Phoenix. Let me see what was the.
Well, because we're 5 weeks out from the Anaheim show.
Yeah, because I think let me try to pull up a calendar here. I'm trying to look at the calendar and see if they did the Anna, if they did the Anaheim show, they could have done it, either that same weekend you just had the Tupelo and the other shows, or they could have done it the 31st. That'd be before the Alina show. But that'd be the problem. That'd be, it'd be a Saturday for the Alina show. The Alina show would be on Sunday.
But I mean, here's the
So
thing, and you're absolutely right, because here's the thing: it's in the States, it's in California, it's more obtainable to get there than going to Romania. I mean, and affordable. I mean, come on, you're talking about passports, and then I don't even know how much ticket it costs to go to Romania right now. Probably like at least 1,500. Room and board. Remember we talked to Lori last year about it. When the Masters, and that was what did she say, like 30 grand. And that was I think she was 10th or than at that show. So it's just a lot of money. It's just and it's here's the thing I look at. It's like, do I spend 10 grand, or like even let's say 5 grand, to go to a show to get a qualification for the Olympia to only make $2,500? It's like I always say about, like, master shows, like some of these promoters who want you to pay to compete. I says, why would I pay to play? You know what I'm saying? So you're paying to play. So I mean, if I'm a money guy and I'm a numbers guy. My whole saying, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So I'm gonna spend like at least 5 grand to go to Romania to hopefully qualify for the Olympia. Maybe the prize money is 2,500. Get a qualify. So now you made half your money back to get to the Olympia, to probably not place in the top 5. Depending on what girl it is. I mean, again, we know that women's bodybuilding, they don't pay very much money in the sport. So it's kind of like a lose-lose. I mean, if it's your goal to get to the Olympia, but it's kind of like a lose-lose situation to go over there to qualify for the Olympia, knowing that you're going to lose money no matter what throughout the process. Does that make sense?
uh,
Right?
no, it don't.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Unless
there.
sorry. Unless you're Andrea Shaw or someone, generally most of these women have to pay out of their pocket. That's why some of these girls do the OnlyFans, and as I like to call them, the beat websites. We don't know what they are. you
I
know,
get it. No, I totally get it. I'm like, I looked at Tina and I said, look, and not to put our business out on the street, but she makes more money running our business than she does competing. So I'm like, it's, I said, like, again, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. I know a goal is a goal, but why shell all this money to get a $2,500 check? I'm like, think about it, like we were talking about last week. Sarah gave each girl who placed in the top 10 in women's physique $1,000. So they're winning, because let's say the third place girl at a open bodybuilding show gets a $500 check. So kudos to Sarah and what she's doing, because at least you walk away with something, not with empty pockets, because that may have paid for their, airfare and hotel or whatever the case may be, but at least you're on the upside, not the downside. That's the problem with this sport, in essence, to me, especially for women's bodybuilding.
yeah, it's just, it's just it's like having like they say, like, if you ever own a boat, a boat is a money pit. They say you put more money into that thing.
A
The back.
pool at your house, like me, is a is a is a say, don't think because you put a pool in your house that you're gonna get your money back. You're actually losing money. So you put the pool in for yourself, not to get money back off of it.
Yeah, and that's the expense that I think a lot of people can't, spare. I remember I interviewed with a couple. They, Keith Holmes and his wife Daphne. Daphne competes in physique. Keith competes in men's classic. He was hoping to get invited to the Olympia Masters, but they say like it's too much money to take out of their home because they're married. They have she has 2 daughters. He has a couple of kids. They have a blended family, and that money they could spend on something more like on the kids or this or that, paying bills. Okay, here,
Well,
man.
I hope they do the Master Olympia in the States next year. Because that's more. I think it's more appealing for people than to, like, do it in Orlando or do it in Vegas or whatever, or put it in Olympia, and make it a day. be day before everything else starts, like they do the amateur, So, I mean, I hope they do something like that so you don't have to go overseas.
Well, then that means that the Master Olympia is still a qualification show. That means that if they do it the Olympia, that has to be qualification for next year Olympia. Or like I said, do Orlando, where they took the Olympia out of Orlando, put it back, in Vegas. Do it Orlando because you have more Masters competitors here than you have overseas. I
Yeah, and,
mean,
and Orlando was, I mean, I still, like, if I had to pick Vegas over Orlando, I'd pick Orlando every day. I mean, I've went to that venue twice, and it's 3 stories tall. The building's 3 stories. They have the expo. It was just a great because it's all in one place, So the hotel is connected to the convention center, so they don't have to worry about buses or transporting athletes. Athletes are it's just conveniently located. But I mean,
and
we'll
then
get off.
also,
We'll talk about some things off the air. Let's say
yeah,
that.
and also Orlando is more of a family kind of
Yeah,
environment because when we're Charlotte, she takes her kids. They have some place to
yeah,
go. If you have kids, you can
yeah,
go to Disneyland. You can go Universal. You can go Busch Gardens. You go somewhere where after the show you can have some fun, unwind.
yeah.
Vegas is the adult place. They try to be family friendly, but it didn't work out because
Yep.
it's not family friendly. It's mostly for adults who want. And the reason why they want to have it in October instead of November, because that last year November was the time they had in November was awful. The weather was bad. People got sick. I remember I interviewed Daniel Willis. She was still sick from that when she competed at Vegas that year, and it's just it's better. The vibe is better. Even when it's like December in Florida, it's not even that bad. It's like almost springtime, down that end instead of like in Nevada, it can get just as cold if it's like any place else.
Yeah, because like the girl Janine who was seventh at Tampa, won the 40 and 50, so it qualified for her for the Master Olympia for next year. But again, like I told Tina, I said you might as well jump into Masters and Open, because at least you qualify for one of them, So
Yeah, it makes more sense because I think that's what they're going to do. They're not going to do invitation anymore for. I don't know what they're going to do. They're still going to do invitation for Masters Olympia. I know. I talked to one lady.
I
She's
think you have to qualify now. I think you have to
yeah.
qualify now.
Yeah, because I know I talked to one lady. She's a figure competitor. She's from Australia. She won the Masters class in a show in Atlanta, no, in Georgia, where's
Yeah.
it's close to Atlanta, whatever, Georgia, whatever. And she's qualified for Masters Olympia. She's from Australia, so that means if they do it here, she has to come over here to compete.
And it
Get
makes
Olympic
sense. I mean,
qualification.
that makes sense because they have plenty of master shows, and so that, like, I mean, like September 1st is the Master Worlds in Pittsburgh. I'll be out there with my client who's competing, and actually somebody's like, "Well, why don't you do that show?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I got my goals and my dates set. I mean, it's not a show. I mean, I probably can. My coach said I probably can jump in and win it, but I'm like, we already got a set date, so it's how I feel about certain people.
Yeah, I know. I know that this different show was a Masters show. It was just totally Masters, no Open. That's the Max Fit. That was the same weekend as the Tupelo because Tupelo was Friday and that show was Saturday.
Yeah.
And also, this is one thing is if you as a master competitor have to pay and compete, why not do like you do like an amateur, have an overall and get your Olympic qualification?
Yeah.
I mean, I know some ladies compete. I
Especially
mean,
like the Master Worlds, which is if it's Master World Championships, right? So I mean,
yeah.
there's Master World Championships, which is a big name. Why wouldn't it's like why wouldn't the Master World Championships be Olympia qualifier? You know what I'm saying? But I guess they want to make the Master Olympia the Olympia qualifier. So say for instance, hypothetically speaking, I win the Master Olympia, then that would throw me into the Olympia. So you know, that wouldn't be a bad gig. That's the goal anyway.
Well, Gary Unit. He's part of that family. He's one of the capos for the Manion. So he could, but like I said, it's money, 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 money. But like I said, well, like I said, brother, this is where I'm saying like this. There's opportunities there somewhere, and someone has to make those opportunities. These promoters need to have enough courage to say, you know what? especially how the divisions are starting to evolve. You're seeing women moving over from physique to
Women's
women's
physique.
bodybuilding. Yeah,
Yep.
and and then there's a reason why you still keep the division because the fact is it's growing. You look at the Ashley Jones, look at the Sheriff Yamis, you look at all the other women who are coming over. And I understand
But
it's
again,
not.
the part of that problem, bro, is simply this. If I was a women physique player, would I want to come over because there's more opportunities at women physique shows than there are women bodybuilding shows, right? So
Yeah,
why would I come over? Because my opportunity in women's physique is greater than women's bodybuilding because the shows are less. So that's the catch.
yeah.
You know, so we've always asked the question, why do some girls stay in women's physique? Maybe that's it now. So and it's like are they is the powers that be really excited about women's bodybuilding like if they are like wellness and women's physique, or are they kind of like trying to phase it out like they did before? I don't know.
Yeah, and the other division that gets the worst of is fitness. I
Yeah.
mean, because it's the hardest division to do. Not a lot of women want to jump around. I saw Missy Trescott. She's supposed to be coming back. And,
Yeah.
and I think she should take a little more time. I mean,
Is that the one that
yeah,
got injured at the Olympia, the favorite last year?
yeah, her and
Sorry to
Whitney
hear that.
Jones, both her and Whitney Jones. She had ACL surgery. There's a picture of her. I think I saw. Let me pull it up if I can find it. Where she is, she really looks like she. I don't know. This is where the debate. I keep saying, you know, this is, she should really consider maybe I don't know, switching divisions or something. I mean, let me pull it if I can find it. I know I got her here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm searching because sometimes, and I should able to, here we go. And I have her. Give me a sec. And she's been training. And she looks like I said, I don't know. This is a debate where I think she can do this. While she's recovering, she might can do another division. Maybe do figure for a minute. You know, it's just
Who's that, Whitney?
Missy. That's Missy
Who?
Trescott.
Oh, wow, she looks good.
Yeah,
I mean,
she.
again, the question is, can she do the things on her in her routine? That she did. Because you can work out and stand there and do all that you want, but what they do is a skill set and all on its own. Is her body able to do what she needs to do that she used to do? Is the question. We see her working out, but is what she's doing? Yeah, that's a nasty scar. It's what she's doing. Is her body gonna allow her to be as high, competitive, and amazing as she was before? Her body looks great, but that's not her running around doing tumbling and all the stuff that she did before. So that'll be the question. You know.
I don't know if that's the same leg or not. I think I can see the scarring. It looks. I don't know. Yeah, it's the same leg.
Yeah, that's same
Yeah,
leg.
yeah, yeah. I'll be certain. Yeah, but yeah, that's 7 months since the surgery. You know, I don't know. I know somebody who did figure who had the injuries and they did another division for a bit. I know Jody Bone, she did physique and figure for a bit. I remember another lady, she did physique for a bit. But if she wants to, that's like I said, that's her division. That's her home division. That's the division she knows. You
Yep.
know, like I guess it's tough to walk away from it. But like I said, it's up to her. You know,
Yeah.
she what she wants.
Well, wish her the best.
Yeah, wish her the best. Like I said, it's a tough division. It's tough. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, like I said, next week like this week I am going to watch The Rising. Like I said, I hope I get my car out this week. I just God drives me crazy. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to watch it. We're going to do a critique of it. You gonna watch it?
Yep.
Because I know you've been there. You remember last year? You were my man, my boots on the ground last year. But
Yeah,
it's right.
we're kind of a little bitter this year, so I don't know if
I
I
know,
mean,
I know,
yeah,
I know.
but you seen the sneak preview, so we're bringing something good this year. So you know,
Yeah. I think see people.
got
Yeah. That's all.
yeah, we got we got Melanie back in camp with us, so and she's and that you seen the sneak preview. She is on right now, so I'm excited
She's
for her.
Yeah, and it's just another 4 weeks
5 weeks,
till 5 weeks
4 weeks.
Anaheim. Five,
Yep.
four, yeah, about and and that could, like I said, if she comes in what she looks like, if team comes in great condition, I think she could get qualification. It's all depending who's
Yep.
coming there. Like I said, there's possibility. I talked to one lady, she might be doing this show. She said it while I was doing a live stream on IG a while back because she was going to do Tampa, but then she did do Tampa. There's Hunter Henderson. That's because she might do Anaheim because she's young. She can fly out
And she's
to
in Las Vegas. I mean, it makes sense. She's in
Vegas.
Vegas, so that's a 4 hour drive, 3 hour drive for her. So
Yeah,
I
so
mean, it makes
or
sense.
or our flight, so that saves her
Yeah,
time.
but
Yeah,
again, and I think that her goals were and aspirations was for this year. Especially going into what show does she come in second? Chicago or Tampa? Tampa.
Chicago, Chicago,
Was it?
Chicago.
I thought it was Tampa.
No, Chicago,
Okay,
because
so her
McKenna
goal
took
was.
second at
Oh,
Tampa.
that's right. Yeah, because Christina won Tampa.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they train out of the same gym, so I think that was a conflict of interest because I know that she works with them on poses and stuff. So, but yeah, so it should be interesting. It's gonna be a good
yeah,
show. So
yeah. Well, she could try to do the Alina show or try to do show in UK. Like I said, she's young. She can
yeah,
take time to fly out into another country, and she could probably afford it. Just take maybe a week, go out there a week early and get ready and get set, and try to get immaculated with the environment and the time. Mela, I think we talk about Mela. I think Mela should take the year off. I honestly think she does. I mean,
uh, you know,
she did.
there was somebody told her to get bigger, and I don't think that's her problem because she got bigger clearly, but when you do that, sometimes you lose your conditioning. And am if I am in their camp and I was to look at Mela, which I'm a fan of, Boswell, I'm a fan of, I would tell them, and I told this to Mela last year at Worlds, and me and John were sitting in the audience watching his champion win again. I said, if Mela can bring in her lower body conditioned from the back, not the front, because her front is everything's fine, but from the back when these girls turn around, because in our world they say shows are won from the back. If she can get her conditioning in, Boswell, uh, unbelievable shapes, great shoulders, small waist, great quads, lacks conditioning. And I would tell them that because I mean, I would want to hear it. I would want somebody to tell me that. I want somebody. I don't want anybody in my camp saying I look great. Like right, people tell me now like you're ahead of schedule. You look unbelievable. And I tell people we still got work to do. You know, because we do. It's great as far as ahead I am. As much as I'm pushing my body, I want somebody in my camp saying we ain't fucking there yet. You need to do this. And I remember looking at Maya last year because she is beautiful and she has unbelievable shapes. But when she, like Christina Mendoza last year, her and when they turn around from the back, it's all gone. The conditioning wasn't there, and I just don't understand like how you can look fucking phenomenal from the front and then you turn around from the back, and it's not. And I'm not talking about from the waist up. I'm talking about from the waist down, from the back for those three girls. Because if those three girls come in dry and tight and hard, man, it's rap. Because sometimes you can't beat shape. Sometimes you can't beat shape. And Maya and Boswell have shapes, but the conditioning aspect from and it's a women's, so women, especially from the glute hamstring, and I'm a guy, and that's all I focus on. My back is wide, chest is huge. I just left my massage therapist from stripping down my glutes and my quads because I understand that when I turn around from the back, that those things have to be firing and they have to be crispy and tight. So I do extra shit for that. And that's what these people's camps should be telling them. We got to do extra shit to make sure that when you come into the show, that your glutes and your hamstrings are pow, boom, there. That's why you look Ashley. She's complete. You know what I mean? Like, no offense on like it's going to. This is going to be. I am not going to say, and I love Andrea. I am not going to say that this is a walk in the park. This is a walk. This is a walk in the park for her. I'm not going to say that this time. I can't, because if Ashley brings what she brought to, because she has a size too. Angela Yo has a condition, but she don't have that size that Andrea has. Ashley has both. So if like I said when she won in New York, that's crazy. So I mean, think about it. If she can bring that package in to the Worlds and Andrea is off, we can see a new champion, because that right there is tough. I mean, that's tough, because that's top to bottom size, conditioning, symmetry, all that you're looking for is that. I mean, Andrea is beautiful. Ashley's beautiful. Andrea probably has a smaller waist. But, again, and Tyler said it. You don't have to knock out the champion. You just have to be better that day. But Tyler's not judging the show. Sandy is. And, Sandy has her favorites too. So it should be interesting. It should be interesting.
Well, like I said, I'm a fan of Andrea Shaw. I mean,
I am too.
and I think I saw this. She posted this, and I don't know. It's gonna be tough. She looks like she's in it to win it, and and this is gonna be her fifth. If she wins, it'll be her fifth title. She'll have at least 5 Olympias, 5 Rising Phoenix championships. That's a pretty decent record compared to some others.
She's definitely going to have to be better than she was last year, though.
Yeah, but it's hard to be better than last year. I mean,
she's going to have to be better. I mean, she's going to have to be drier, harder than she was last year. Because she's not going to, like with Angela, she can like outsize her, but you're not going to outsize and outmuscle Ashley. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because the one thing I love about Andrea is she invited both of these girls over. She's like, I love the competition. And like the one, I guess you're right, George, because I can say, like, Andrea is one of those girls like a chameleon. You'll see her and you're like, is she gonna be ready? And then all of a sudden, remember you seen her in South Carolina, and like when she's guest posing, we're like, I don't know. And then fucking she like turns into chameleon. Like you go on stage, like, what the fuck happened? So again, she's one of those girls who, and I think her and John, have it to a science where they know, and they're seeing what's in front of them already, that they understand that our package has to be better, because Ashley gave them a sneak preview of which I think this year is her biggest competition. I don't even think it's Andrea. I would say it's going to be Andrea and Ashley. If Ashley comes in on like she was in New York, it's definitely going to be Ashley and you can say, I can say it right now, right a week out from Worlds, that it's going to be Ashley and Andrea for 1 and 2. You heard it here first.
Well, people, my man, he is a judge, and he's been in sport for a long time. Ashley, like I said, she's impressive. Like, and this is the thing, she is a phenom. You think about it, she was a figure competitor. Then she switched over to physique, and then she's went up to women's bodybuilding. I mean, her body's just, she has that. She's I would say kind of a throwback, if you would say, but she has that potential. And especially she's a little over 30 now. She's like, I think she's 31, 32. I mean, she can probably push for another 6-7 more years, because this year Andrew's gonna be 41. But for 41, she looks amazing, for 40.
Black don't crack, bro.
Yeah, I know that's true, but it's gonna be a debate, this young lady coming in, being a threat. A lot of people are talking. I saw Angela Yo did an interview with the Female Bodybuilding Channel this past weekend, and she's game. She's game, but like I said, I don't know what can she do to really keep herself in that top three.
Angela. Well, I mean, and she remember last year she put on, I think she said 10 pounds last year. But again, so here's the difference. Like we all understood, like Ashley was not doing well in women's physique because she was just too big. You know, there's girls like Sherry and girls like Angela who transitioned over, who needed to put on size and put on the right size. But Ashley's just a whole different monster because she has that dense muscle. There's dense, somebody said about me, like, your muscle you're just so dense, and so you have that dense muscle where like Sherry and Angela has great shapes for their size, but they lack that real depth and density, in the muscle that Ashley has. Does that make sense? I mean, it's just, so it's one of those things where how much size can she put on without losing her shape? Those two, especially Angela, and she worked hard because she looks, and again, has she really been, has Angela the last 2 years that she's been battling with Andrea for that Olympia spot, has she really pushed her? And I don't think she has. I think, she's been there. She's been there and she's right in the right spot. But now you got this new girl, Ashley, on the scene who's going to probably push Andrea to the hardest she's ever been pushed. But that's just my opinion. Everybody has their opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody. But like I said, I'm always going to be a fan of Andrea. Like I said, I'm a fan of Ashley. I like her. But like I said,
I'm Team Andrea all the way. But I'm just saying, you always want to see somebody get pushed to be better. And and I think, like I said before Ashley did it, I said this. I said it's a great thing to be able to look what's in front of you and be like, okay, we know exactly what we have to bring this year, unlike last year, because Angela's always been there. So now you got this new girl, Ashley's there, and now Andrea can look at, like it's like, remember the Rocky movie when Rocky IV, when he had Drago on his mirror and he ripped the picture down because he finally understood that he was ready. Sure, Andrea Andrea got a picture. She's like, okay, her and John, okay, we got, it's like going to go. This is a game plan. This is what we got to do. We understand what this girl's bringing to the table. This is what we got to do to hold on to maintain our title and, come in better than you were last year. You can't be this, I once heard a quote about Andrea. It's like Sandy said, just come in like you did last year. But I understand, but if it's me and seeing Ashley, I said, I understand I can come in last year, but I understand what this girl's bringing to the table. So I know I got to be a little bit better than I was last year. And that's always the goal. It's like, what can I do to be a little bit better? Like, I took 2 years off, and my posing coach, my coach now, people who see me is like, best fit look I've ever had, but I understand when I went back to the gym, what I had to do to be better. What I wanted to do, what I need to emphasize on to be better. It wasn't my chest, wasn't my back, it was my legs, certain things. So I'm very confident going into my show, what I worked on and focused on and how I changed my training to be better after taking 2 years off. So I imagine, Andrea's thinking the same thing. I got this girl here who, I don't want to say nobody's a threat because you're the champion. But, again, there's situations where I always tell people when I beat Carl Lewis, in the World Championships, in the USA's, tonight Carl Lewis was a 9-time gold medalist. You never thought a college kid like Keith Williams would whoop his ass, but I did, because I tell people, I said, we tie our shoes up the same. So on any given day, anybody can be beaten. And that's any sport. Any team can be beaten, any player, any competitor can be beaten. It all depends what you bring to the table that year. So
yeah, Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. He lost to Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, exactly.
He used to go fight Jake Paul.
Know what I'm saying?
But But like I said, yeah, it's just like I said. Maybe it's just me being too much. I can't help myself because I just love Andrea. I think she's so beautiful. I can't help.
She
But
is. She's gorgeous.
this picture gets me
Gorgeous.
mad. I don't know why this picture gets me mad. Why? Why you have your hands on her? Why? I love you, but I love you like my brother, but you have to put your hands on her.
Hey, you don't think I'm Team Andrea? She gave me that nice snuggly hug. Last year I remember at World Championship, she had me put her little hoodie on while she put her screen back on. I'm totally Team Andrea. I'm totally Team Andrea. I think she's gonna be. I think she's that one girl that I'm so impressed with because you see her. Like I remember, there was only one other person I've seen that way, and R.I.P. to my boy Sean Roden, who named me Scuba Steve. Who I seen him at the Springfield show, Chad Nichols and Kim Krzyzewski show, and we were looking at each other and we're like, is he gonna be ready? And that was the year he'd be Phil, because he had Chris Aceto in his corner, he had Charles Glass in his corner, and the dude just transformed and he won. Actually no, he had Psycho Fitness, Psycho Fitness, wasn't Charles. Psycho Fitness in his corner and Chris Aceto. And he got on stage, and I'm like, what the hell? Everybody was shocked, So that was the only other person besides Andrea I can see just evolutionize and change their body in such a short period of time. So, it's going to be fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yes.
Got some good stuff to talk about on Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be excited about that. This is from man Raheem Hammer says that Buster Douglas fight doesn't count. I'm sorry, but it counts. I mean, I was a fan. I'm a big Tyson fan.
Stepped in
It
the ring, it
counts.
counts. Bro.
It counts.
Yeah. What do you mean
Yeah,
doesn't count?
it
Just because you're
counts.
not in the mental, just because you're not. Here's the thing, and I hate people like Raheem who says this shit because it's like when I beat Carl Lewis, he was like the end of his career. But you still put your shoes on and you still lined up next to me and you got your ass kicked. So don't fucking sit here and tell me that shit don't count. It counts. It counts. You decide to step in the ring and fight, it counts. If you step on the track with me and I bust your ass, it counts. Bottom line. Right.
He's worried about his girl, yo.
Notice we haven't even said shit about her.
No one has even, it's just, she's not even. I think she might try to. I doubt she's gonna do that Alina show. She might try to do the show in UK, but it's, dude. I mean, even though I'm a fan, but I realize sometimes my favorite fighter, my favorite athlete will lose. Sometimes I don't like it. I don't want to accept it, but that's how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, this is a great little chat. I enjoyed that you come on. A shout out to you and everything you're doing here. We appreciate you. Like I said, you are prepping for your show, but you say it was, yeah, and you're getting it. Your wife is pregnant. Thank you for sending the pictures. I appreciate that. I really do. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. I keep your confidence. It's between you and me because we're brothers. We're brothers. Even though you hey, my girl, but that's
I'll let you do the same, bro. I'll let you hug her the same.
Here, this is from hey Hamilton. It says Keith Williams like Puffy says you can hate me now. Well, I'm gonna be like one of my other identities. Call me Suki Johnson. Hate you can't hate no more.
Don't hate me because you can't beat me.
Like say it's just he's like to cause trouble. Like yeah.
We need that on this show. Somebody who stirs the pot.
Yeah. He's a habitual line stepper. That's what he is. Habitual. He was like, we call her a bitch. No, I'm not. Brother, never mind. But thank you, brother, for coming through. Thank you for giving me your thoughts.
No problem. I gotta get home and eat, so I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week too.
All right, bro. Love you, man.
Love you too.
But
that's my big brother, Mr. Williams, aka Scuba Steve. He's prepping. He's going to be planning to do a show. I think he says Legions. That's coming up. That's in the end of September. That show will be qualification for next year's Olympia. The Anaheim will be qualifications for next year's Olympia. I said again, there's only 2 shows for both women's bodybuilding and women's physique for qualification. For women's bodybuilding, there's the Alina show and also the Europa in the UK. But there's the Rising Phoenix. But as long as you have Andrea and all other competitors who already get the qualification, no one's going to get that qualification. No one ever is going to get that qualification. And for women's physique, you do have the Arizona Pro same weekend as the Rising Phoenix, and also you have the Europa in the UK. So those 2 shows, women's bodybuilding and physique, share. But shout out to Alina Popa. I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to watch that show because they're a different time zone. That means I have to get up early in the morning to catch it. I won't be able. I can't do it. Maybe if it doesn't cost too much, I might try to watch it. The finals. This is where Rahim says show is going to lose this shot. Yeah, no. You talk that shit. Keep that shit to yourself. All right, keep it to yourself. That's a champ. Your girl's a chump. We all know you like that. But like I said, go watch it. We'll check it out. And like I said, I got it. If I'll get my car this weekend, then I have the money to do it, so that'd be good. So this is a man KL the Wanderer. He's coming in a little, says, "Hey, what up? Hey, brother, came to see the crowd. I thought you were supposed to be working." But I'm about to finish up, about to wrap up. If you want to come in for a little bit and I'll send you a link, just let me know. Or you're in the live stream, just click the link that's posted if you want to come in and shoot shit for me before I head out, because it's about my supper time too. He says I'm still working. I don't worry about working anymore. That's why I need to do this. I got a lot of free time in my hands. But the list, we already know the list for the Rising Phoenix for women's bodybuilding. We already know who are going to be that show. But I'm waiting for the list for Arizona Pro. That will not come out till later this evening. So once that list is out, then I will post it on my social media. You can go to my All the Rage George page, IG. I have my other IG, which is just George MacArthur. I don't use it too often. I usually use it when I do interviews because I forget the password for my other IG, so I can't put it on my computer. So that's why I do most of my live streams on my computer. But I use it for when I do interviews, and when I want to go into, I had appreciation to talk and chat with Beverly and her husband Brad. Shout out to them Sunday. Also tomorrow, fellas, if you get up early enough in the morning, 10 o'clock, I will be interviewing IFB Physique Pro Roma Scotzi. Roma, as you know, she she did Chicago and Atlanta. She, as you know, they're going to have the show in the UK. There's a possibility, and it's a good possibility, she might do the 2 Bros in the UK because it's going to be in her backyard. So she might try to get Olympic qualification at that show. That's one of the last shows for women's physique Olympic qualifications for this year. There's some other shows coming up this season, but those are for next year. There's like 5 shows women's physique. But the thing is, promoters need to give women's bodybuilding a chance and the opportunity. I hope maybe next year Texas Pro will add women's physique, women's bodybuilding to the show. I'm hoping maybe another promoter picks it up because I've seen how it's really starting to grow. I know it's not as big compared to women's physique, but this year there wasn't a lot of competitors for women's physique shows because everybody's squeezing in and trying to jump out of the bigger shows. But and some women are not even ready yet. They want more time to get ready. Sometimes you won't start seeing a lot more competitors by, I would say, late June, early July. But if you are going to, I'm going to do a video like I do when I talk about the show, and also next Monday we're going to do a critique of the show. KLA, I would say recommend it to you if you want to watch the Arizona Pro. Check out the Rising Phoenix. I know you're more of a fan of the muscle women, not much of this competition, but hey, check it out. Watch it live. Watch it live once in a while. I feel like it's gonna be a good show. If history's made, if Ashley get past and beats Andrea, I'll congratulate her. But as a fan and as I don't see anybody beating her right now. And we had the Olympia. That's gonna be another 8 weeks, and like I said, you just wait, and after that, it's gonna be kind of quiet. I'm gonna try to find something to talk about. You guys who follow me, think of something we want to talk about. Let me know something. We'll set something up. We put it together. Just let me know. Anyway, I appreciate my man BT coming through. Appreciate Jeremy. Shout out to him, whatever he's going through now, and I hope he's doing well. I know it's tough that we hate to lose somebody like him. He's very knowledgeable about bodybuilding, but I know your life is going in another direction. You have to go that direction. I respect that. I understand that, but it's tough. But I appreciate you and thank you for always coming here and supporting my channel. And also McKenna K, the Wanderer, also Rahi Hamilton, the habitual line stepper, my man Money J 2024, Stefan Prey, Balls Deep was here. Balls Deep, we don't see he's often like we used to, but we know why it happened last time. But any of you, check out the Arizona Pro. Watch these pay-per-views. That helps these competitors. That's where they make some of the money from. Because people are watching these shows. I know if I could afford to, I would not go to Arizona. I don't know if I want to fly to Arizona, but I wouldn't want to drive. I think I might take a flight. Is there a train? No. I might check it out. See, no. You might have to take a jump for a train to a bus like that. That'll probably take me 3 or 4 days. Ugh. So I might have to fly. Oh my God, Mike, Mr. T. Hey, fool! Don't put me no plane. But watch it. Check out the show. Also, we have the Alina Popo show coming up. I hope that show will be around for next year also. This is going to be qualification for this year's Olympia, both the Alina and the Europa show. 2 shows overseas. I know a lot of competitors who live in the States don't want to go overseas. I know it's tight to do that, but you don't want to miss the opportunity if you can get it. If the ones who are not able to make it this year to Olympia, focus on the shows for next year. Like I said, there's only Anaheim here in the States and also the Muscle Fest for next year. But this is what I say. I wish more promoters do get opportunities to win bodybuilding and, maybe add on a couple more shows, maybe for after the Olympia where it could be a good opportunity for competitors who missed their qualification for that next year, 2025, and they can probably try and qualify for 2026. So, but I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for following me on my social media platforms. Thank you for coming on here. Watch the live stream if you missed it. I really appreciate your support. I'll keep doing this as long as y'all want me to do this because I enjoy doing this. Every Smell Always Joins page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. Good evening, good afternoon, and good night.